All right, y'all. Welcome to Blacks with Power, the show for blacks in America who want to discover ways to harness their power in order to protect the gains won by the struggles of our ancestors and advance the cause of freedom for themselves, their family, and others. We believe that for America to be great, for America to be the more perfect union that our Constitution calls for us to be, we must have racial reconciliation in this country. And for there to be true reconciliation, blacks in America must empower themselves to compel and encourage repentance for the system and ideology of white supremacy and privilege that has betrayed the ideal of liberty and justice for all. I'm Father Jabril Ballantine, and I will be your guide on this journey towards the America that can and should be. Thank y'all so much for listening. You can visit us online at blackswithpower.com. Please also be sure to like the Facebook page at facebook.com/blackswithpower and join in on the discussion. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and tune in, and then listen to the previous episodes as well and write a review and let us know how you do. Then share the episodes with your friends, with your families, because brothers and sisters, all voices are needed. And so I want to hear from you, and to be sure to hear from you, I have a private Facebook community. If you go to blackswithpower.com/Facebook, there's a little application because we try to keep it safe, y'all. I know we're going to share views and share opinions that may get a little hot and heated sometimes, and you want to create a safe space. So in order to do that, I have a little short, brief application to make sure that people are committed to the cause. And so, we got a lot to discuss, brothers and sisters, and you're going to love this. You're going to love what we have in store for you. In this episode, I am chilling with Dr. Letitia Wright. Dr. Letitia Wright has a show on over on DirecTV on demand, on Dish on Demand rather, not DirecTV, out of California, and she is founder and host of the Right Place TV show. It's in her 14th season with over 362 shows and over 6.5 million homes watching every week in Southern California on DirecTV and on Dish. So I was right. I wasn't tripping when I said DirecTV. But she is known as America's crowdfunding expert, America's crowdfunding strategist. If you know anything about crowdfunding, some of us may have had to use crowdfunding because of an illness, because of an untimely death. But crowdfunding in terms of bringing access to capital, to do entrepreneurship, to do all sorts of ventures. Dr. Wright goes around the country, around the world, really, speaking to folks about crowdfunding and how to implement crowdfunding strategies effectively. So I am delighted to bring her to you. Dr. Letitia Wright, how are you, sister?
I am fine. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate the opportunity to share today.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because you have a lot of information to share, and I'm so glad that you have been willing to share it with our audience over here on Blacks with Power. So thank you very much for joining me today. I said Dr. Letitia Wright, and a lot of people probably think PhD, which is good. I'm hopefully going to get my PhD one day. But no, Dr. Wright is a medical doctor. There is a doctor in the house. You are a doctor of chiropractic. Tell us about that, right?
I said I wanted to be a doctor since I was 3 years old. So
Okay.
I grew up to be what I said I was going to be. When I was about 13, my mother worked for a chiropractor, and I would do my homework in the lobby waiting for her to get off from work, because I would, be home from school about 3:30. I'd sit in the lobby, I'd do my homework, and I'd see these people limping into the office, clearly in pain, clearly suffering. And they would leave and they'd be walking with pep in their step and just happy. And they'd be like, "See you next week, Doc."
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought, I want to do that. So I did wind up going to Cleveland Chiropractic College in Los Angeles. I graduated from there. And, it's been amazing. I loved treating patients. I loved getting things done. I worked with a semi-pro football team in Los Angeles. I was their team doctor. I went out on
they need
games and wrapped them before the games, and diagnosed everything from one brother got hit really hard, and he I was thinking, gosh, I think his rib is broken, and there's actually a way for you to diagnose that without x-rays.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I dug in my doctor's bag and I did what I had to do. And a little tear came, because he was trying to be tough during the game. A little tear came out of his eye.
Looking like Denzel in Glory.
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. And I told the coach, I said, he's got a broken rib. You really need to, and when they came back next week, they were like, oh my God, doc, I went to the doctor. I had a broken rib. He just thought that was like so, fantastic, because it's like who's this girl in the locker room that, it was a really interesting time, because I had to navigate the wives, because they're like, okay, who's this chick?
Right.
Like, no, it's all about me being a doctor and getting this experience under my belt that I wanted. I wanted this experience. So I came out, and what I didn't realize is that, yes, I was the only African American in my class. I was the only African American woman in the class ahead of me had one African American man, and the class behind me had one African American man. And there, a couple classes later, there were some more African American women. But the Caucasian students came out, and they already had practices lined up. They had deals with doctors where they would take over their practice. The doctor would move on to another practice,
right,
tired. And I came out, and I was just looking for a job.
Right.
And so I came out with the struggle. I really didn't have a place to practice. I worked with a doctor. It was really tough. He and his wife were fighting and divorcing, and it was just a horrible working environment.
Right.
And so I went out on my own, but I had not really learned the good part of business. So I was a great doctor, but the business part was really, really tough.
Michael Gerber and the E-Myth.
Yes. I didn't meet Michael Gerber till years later, but at that time I'd never heard of him, had never met him. I actually know him now. I interviewed him at his house. It was a really awesome experience. But going back to there, I struggled with the practice, because I didn't understand how to get it big enough to get more people into the practice. And so someone in the community, this was back when you had community cable TV, had a show. And I thought, man, maybe I can get on this community show and begin to expand the fame of the practice. And so I went on there, and I had such a good time, and I did so well. I thought, man, maybe this is something I could do. So I went back to the station, and because I showed the show to my clients. I had it on VHS tape, right. And I'd show the TV before they left. The patients come out, I'd be like, wait, watch this show. And they go, oh, you did good. That guy wasn't a great interviewer, but you did great. So I don't know what was going on that day. My hair was together, my makeup, just everything one of those sharp. Days. Everything is sharp. So, I was answering his questions. So I went back to the station, and I said, how did he get a show? How does this work?
Right.
And they explained that the cable companies at that time had a commitment that they had to give community shows. And so you had to go to a class, and then you had to work and volunteer, and then you could have your own show.
Oh, wow.
So I spent a year doing the classes, volunteering. I did everything in the studio that anybody does. Nice. I did light, I moved, I did camera, I did, you name it, I did it, all of it.
Yeah.
Then a couple of years later, I was able to move into a director's class, but I came up with the idea of having a show called A Healthier You, and I had all my doctor friends on, and I thought that would be great for my practice. Well, it didn't grow my practice that much, but people who knew who I was, and I was having fun, and the shows were really good.
Nice.
So I stopped doing A Healthier You, and I was still struggling with the practice because I just hadn't had a mentor. That was the biggest thing. You must have a mentor in your field when you get out to do what you have to do. You need somebody, and I hadn't been there. And not from lack of trying. Let me tell you about my mentor shopping experience.
Do tell, because it is a hard road. Lord have mercy.
It's a hard road, and I hope you all who are watching and listening never, ever, ever have this experience. But I went and talked to an African-American doctor in Pasadena. I lived in Pasadena at the time. No, I had just moved from Pasadena, but that's my hometown. Pasadena, Altadena is my hometown. And he said, do you have kids? And I said, yes. And he said, well, you need to go home and be with your kids.
Lord Jesus.
I reached out to a woman in San Bernardino, which is 2 towns over from where I live. If you know anything about the Inland Empire, it kind of goes San Bernardino, Rialto, Fontana, Rancho Cucamonga. So it's just 2 towns over. Route 6, straight through Route 66. And I said, I need a mentor. I need someone to help me understand the business part of this, because the attorneys were killing me. They were killing. And she said, no, you're too close, you're competition. And I reached out to about 5 or 6 other people, and then I was burnt out. I was like, I don't
Can't
know
do
what
this.
to do to get a mentor or get someone. I don't know. So I wound up just super struggling. And meanwhile, the show was making money. People were giving me money for sponsorships. People were.
Nice.
And the first time somebody handed me a check for $1,000, I was like, oh, this is a business. This is
Ding,
business.
ding, ding, ding,
Ding.
ding.
So after that, I, took off and I said, okay, I'm going to focus on seeing how big I can grow Right Place TV. And if it doesn't work out, I can go back to seeing patients or doing whatever. So I sat down with my family and told them what I was going to do. Yeah, it went over just like that. It was not, they were like, okay.
If you say so.
Yeah, you're right. My family is super duper supportive, like in my corner. So they didn't say don't do it, but they didn't say anything.
Right.
So because I've spent my entire life saying I wanted to be a doctor, and now all of a sudden I'm going to do TV. So they're like, okay,
Right.
do it. But I was able to grow the show, grow the business, grow the revenue. And in just 3 years, the show went into the black. I mean, I
Nice.
figured out sponsorship, I figured out different things, and we grew the show and grew the show. And so now it has an international reputation. I was in Malaysia shooting shows, I was in China shooting shows, and I just have been able to grow the Right Place TV show, which I created it for entrepreneurs who are looking for information on how to grow their business. Me,
Right.
if you, me,
Right.
with no
This show is for
return.
you.
Yeah, this is before Shark Tank. This is before SBTV. This is before all of it. This is 2000, 2003, 2005. There was nothing on TV.
Right. Right.
Nothing.
Exactly.
There weren't a whole bunch of books, business books out either. Now it's sexy to be an entrepreneur. In 2005, you were just somebody that couldn't find a job.
Exactly.
Because she can't keep a job.
Right. Exactly.
So that is how Right Place TV came about. And it actually became very successful. I decided to put the practice aside and just focus on TV. And I haven't looked back. It's been revenue generating. It's taken me literally around the world. And I've been very excited. Then 6 years ago now, I came across crowdfunding. So what happened first with me, the way I got into crowdfunding is I'm on the edges of, Hollywood. I'm not, in Hollywood, but I can get on the red carpet. I'm a D-list celebrity, And I had 2 different groups of friends doing movies, and they asked me to help with the social media part.
Okay.
Raising money for a movie. And I didn't even get that they were crowdfunding. They just asked me to do this one thing. I kind of head down, did that. We raised the money. One raised $35,000, one raised $55,000. And the crowdfunding is so close to the way you are taught to raise money for an independent film. I thought that's what we were doing. I didn't even get that they were crowdfunding. And so I was like, this is cool. Yay, movie comes out. We all have fun. You know how it is. All your friends that are all you independent film people, I love you. Been there. I know what you're going through. So anyway, fun, celebrate, get the movie out. And then I had a friend who he's on Twitter as Fave, Dentrell Robinson, Trell Robinson.
Okay. And
he had a website called A Pug Named Fender.
A Pug Named Fender.
A Pug Named Fender. And this is a hip hop comic. Fender is a pug, but he has all these adventures and he loves hip hop, and he's met Common and Layla Hathaway, and all these great hip hop artists are drawn into the comic. And it was just a really great comic. And Trell decided that he wanted to put all the comics into a book, and he crowdfunded it. So now I got to see this thing from the beginning to the end. Right. And you guys, and I actually use his video when I teach classes because that's how good his video is. Now, I will tell you, Trell is very, very talented. He's like a Renaissance man. He can write music, he can sing, he can draw. He's got a lot of talent. He has also Fave Bow Ties. If you guys look that up,
Okay.
FAVE Ties, that's his company also.
Okay.
If you connect with him, tell him Dr. Wright gave him a shout out. That's how you found him. I literally show his video in every single class I teach because that's how good it is. But
Wonderful.
I got to watch his process and I got totally turned on. I was like, this is what entrepreneurs need. This is a time when money was tight, when you couldn't go borrow, when even people with good credit were opening up their credit cards to find their credit had been slashed.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you guys that are listening, your parents had that. Ask your parents. If you have parents that have good credit, ask them. In the recession, did you get any of your cards slashed? I mean, I woke up one day with a $7,000 credit, which I hadn't used. I hadn't used it. Had only been using 3,000, a little over 3,000, and opened it up one day, and the credit was 100% at the 3,000. It was
Wow.
like whatever
Right.
I could have used above that, no more, gone. So that kind of thing was happening. So the old traditional ways that entrepreneurs have pulled themselves up by the bootstraps was pretty much gone.
Right.
And crowdfunding I saw as an opportunity for people to raise money, for people to pre-sell, for people to bring in investors. And crowdfunding was just getting started. So I thought, this is it. More people have to know about this. And so I started learning and experimenting on my own. There was nobody out there teaching classes. And so I had to call 10 of my friends that were in business and go, look, I want to raise some money for you. So this is how
I'd love to get that phone call. Hey, I want to raise some money for you. Sure.
Okay, so this is how it went. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? It's Dr. Wright. Okay. Listen, you know me.
Right.
You know,
Yes. Yes.
I'm trying this new thing called crowdfunding.
Okay.
I
Crowdfunding.
want to raise $5,000 for you, for your business.
Okay.
Now, this is new. I'm just learning how to do this. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to give you all the money, but I can't guarantee that it's going to happen because I don't quite know what I'm doing yet.
Okay.
Are you game?
Sure.
Are you game?
Sure.
Okay. That's how the call.
Right. Right. I imagine so. Sure.
They didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was able to pull off 6 great campaigns that made people money and 4 that crashed and burned like you could see the smoke from your house. It was that bad. It was
Hey,
like
but
just
that's a
horrible.
60% success rate. That's awesome. That's like hitting 600.
Exactly. So, and I'm meticulous about taking notes and remembering exactly how I did everything. And then I turned around and did my own crowdfunding campaign with my own book, the first book I wrote, which is terribly out of date. People are like, I want that book. No, I don't want that book because it would be nonsense today. But 5 years ago, it was,
It was the thing. Yeah.
the thing. It was on point. And what I did was I was able to raise really $6,700. My
Okay.
goal was $5,000.
Okay.
I raised $6,700, and I basically did it in 30 days.
Nice.
So for those of you that are crowdfunding for a book, this is what I did, and you can do it too. This still works. What I did was, because I talk all over the nation, I have East Coast Tribe, West Coast Tribe, Texas Tribe, Chicago Tribe. I got people everywhere. Hawaii Tribe. I'm pointing back like Hawaii.
Like,
Yes, this is West. Trust me, it's West. So, So the thing is that I went to people that had big tribes, big events, and I said, look, if you will buy at least 25 of my books for this amount, I will come to you. You can have the books. You can charge whatever you want. I'll do a seminar live. I'll sign the books, and you can give them out to your people.
Right.
And 4 people took me up on it, and that got me to my goal. And then, my mom chipped in.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Gotta love mom. Thanks be to God.
Right. So what I did was they made an event. Dr. Wright's coming, cost you $97 to get in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they more than made their money back.
Right.
I was happy because I got the book done. And so what you do is you pre-sell. You make your deals ahead of time. Now I knew exactly how many books I had to write. I knew exactly how many books I had to get out. And we had everything planned out, and I was able to do it very, very quickly.
Nice.
So
you had the book paid for before you even printed it.
Before I even printed it, it was already paid for.
Nice.
And anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. So I began to just start teaching on crowdfunding, teaching on the success principles. I was fascinated by it. I was learning more and more and more. And, I kept putting out content and videos, and, I did Periscope. I kind of stopped doing Periscope because I got to be honest, I hate the trolls. I love Facebook, and I love YouTube Live, but no trolls. I don't know
Right.
what the deal is with Periscope. I can't spend time dealing with people that are, you're ugly, you're stupid. I can't do it.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Yeah. Right.
but I put content. I encourage everybody, get out there on whatever social media makes you happy. I would put out content, educate people, teach. And last year, was just amazing. I was at Dallas Startup Week twice. I was at Oahu Startup Week, Maui Startup Week
Nice.
twice.
Nice.
I was, I was teaching all over the country. I was invited to President Obama's event. He has actually an entrepreneur. He used to have I don't know if they're going to have it this year. I got to check. But while he was in office, he had an entrepreneur at an event every year, and it was in different places around the country. Well, last year was the last one, and it was in Stanford.
Nice.
And one of my biggest clients was a speaker there, and I got invited to come up there. And they literally have entrepreneurs from around the world.
Wow.
Around the world. And when he went in to speak for his thing, oh my gosh, it was like a concert. I mean, people were screaming. These are entrepreneurs.
Like they done seen Michael Jackson.
Right. They're like, we love you. It was just crazy,
Like,
but it was.
I love you too.
Right. So it's just this awesome atmosphere. I think it is going to be this year either Nigeria or India if they're still having it. I have to kind of check and see if they're still having it. But just an amazing time teaching people around the country about crowdfunding, what it really is and what it isn't. So I'd love to really just talk with you and bust some myths, because people are very confused about what crowdfunding is. And I know you've seen people raise money for funerals and all this kind of stuff, but there's just so much more to it.
Yeah.
And when we're doing stuff like raising money for funerals and everything, there's a lot of backlash. A lot of people are like, you know what? You get insurance. Stop crowdfunding and get some dang insurance.
Right.
And so, and I'm all for that. And I do understand that. Because then it's abuse. I had one lady literally contact me and said she needed to crowdfund because she needed to go to Prince's funeral. I said,
my Lord.
Prince isn't having a funeral. He's a very private person. So I don't know if she was scamming or she didn't know that. But, we get a lot of frivolous stuff, and crowdfunding is such a great opportunity for the African American community that we really, really have to stop all this foolishness and stop passing up on the opportunities we have to change our community, to educate our kids, to get our businesses stable and off the ground, and really create something for ourselves.
Yeah. That is so powerful. I mean, the beautiful thing about talking with you is that in that piece, you like answered my first 4 questions without me even asking. I'm sitting here and you see me out here checking. Okay, she answered that one. Remember, don't ask that one. Don't ask that one either. Okay. So moving right along, right? But that's a perfect segue, honestly, because that is exactly why I thought it was so important to have you on the show. And so when we talk about some of these myths, I know there's a myriad myths. There's tons of myths. There's tons of bad information, tons of bad practices in crowdfunding. But if you could identify what would you say is the single biggest mistake, the single biggest misuse of crowdfunding?
I think the single biggest misuse of crowdfunding is really just turning it on yourself and saying, I need money for funeral, car, blah, blah, blah. Because now you are depending on people that care about your loved one, your car, your personal issues.
Mm-hmm.
And that circle is really pretty small. They say we have 250 people show up at our funeral because that's about how many people know and care about us and can get off work.
Right.
So, it's very important. It's very important that for me, I really want to get the message of, yes, let's crowdfund, but let's turn this around and benefit somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I think when you're sitting there going, hey, And I get it. There are people, when crowdfunding first started happening, there were people that were like, hey, help me buy tools. I hawked my tools because I'm in construction and my family needed to eat. And now I have a job, but I can't do this job if I don't have tools. Help me buy tools. I get that. The community coming together. But what people don't understand is that the only people that are going to give you money are people that care about what you are doing. It is no magic money. It's no set it and forget it. It's no throw it out there and the money just comes in. People would literally call me and go, well, aren't there people that just give money to stuff like this? And I'm like, yes and no. In the industry, we call them blue fairies. Now, blue fairies will donate a ton of money to something that they care about. Normally, it's in their community. So if they live in Idaho, I have a friend that lives in Idaho. He's always supporting people in Idaho. He's got a lot of money. And
move to Idaho real quick.
Idaho, but that's his community. Dave Lacani supports a lot of great, and you're going to find him. He talks about persuasion. And I reference him in my material because I asked him specifically how to address the fact of how people feel when you fail at crowdfunding and you want to come back and ask them again. And so Dave Lacani was explaining to me that people, it's already a shaky area. They feel like they've made a mistake in backing you because it didn't go through. So that's showing up their personal mistake. Not only did you fail, but they made a failure.
Backed a loser.
They backed a loser. And so it's very hard to get people to come back and support you when you fail. So it's very important to make it work and make it right. So Dave does a lot of great stuff, but it's usually something in Idaho.
Right.
It's something, and that's how blue fairies tend to work. I didn't mean to I just outed him as a blue fairy, but the thing is, blue fairies don't want to be outed because everybody comes to them. Once they know you get, that's it. Everybody's like on your phone, blah, blah, blah. So I am not a blue fairy. So, but what they do is they care about their community. And so they're very sensitive to the crowdfunding that's going on in their community. They will give that money, but it still has to be something that they care about. And it still has to be something that makes sense.
Right.
So no, not because you just put it out there. And I've had heartbreaking things. One lady was like, I'm trying to raise $250,000 for my dad who's in a wheelchair with no legs to start his life over. I said, for $250,000, Dr. Wright could start her life over.
I know too. That's right.
Somebody else. But you got to understand is that who cares about that?
Right.
And when you can't name who cares about that, you're not going to have a successful campaign. People call me and say, I'm not on social media. I don't have any friends. I do not go to church. I don't go out of the house. I'm sick. I got a lot of bills. I don't know anybody. I don't have a cell phone. I mean, I don't even know how they found me if they don't have any of this. I'm not on the web. I don't, but I need to raise $50,000. Baby, if you don't know anybody, you're not on the web, you don't have any social media, you don't go to church, you don't have any kind of support group, then that's not really possible
to raise that.
So that is the biggest misconception when it comes to personal raises. When it comes to business raises, the biggest misconception or misunderstanding is you think you can set it and forget it. As a business, you must have a budget set aside to market the crowdfunding itself. Okay. It doesn't take away marketing. When you have a business, you have to market.
Right.
When you tell me, oh girl, I make all my sales by word of mouth. Use a lie. You don't make all your sales by word of mouth. Okay. You have to advertise. And if you do, you're making very little sales because how is word of mouth working now?
Right.
Okay. So word of mouth works by planting seed. Okay. The reason why Red Bull took off is because they went in, where'd they go? They went into bars and they gave it to younger people who were drinking, which drinking is a downer. You lose energy, but you want to hang out all night, and guess what? You start slamming Red Bull, and it gives you wings, and we partied all night, and that's how they took off. But you know how much money it costs for them to give out free Red Bull at bars?
Right. Yeah.
It's a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
That's how word of mouth got going.
Right. Still took some seed money. Still took some investment, and so
That's right.
What I got out of that, a big piece that I got out of that was you have to focus on the big idea that benefits beyond you. So it's not so much, oh, help me write this book. It's about what this book is going to accomplish, what this information is going to accomplish for you and for people like you. And then that's something that I want to invest in. I could care less if you write a book. I don't care. I don't need to help you write a book. But if this book is going to revolutionize the way that people do X, Y, or Z, now I want to be a part of that.
Want to be a part of it. That's exactly it. So people have unrealistic expectations. They think they can raise $50,000 on zero money. You see people raising $100,000. I just saw of course, this is interesting to me. I saw a bra. This lady's coming out with a new bra, and bras have a lot of problems. I know you probably haven't ever heard that. But currently, bras they just are still kind of ancient contraptions. They haven't changed much. And so she's coming up with something that doesn't have an underwire, is supportive, and molds to the body much better. And so she's doing this bra. You can buy one or two or three or whatever you want to put in there in the pot. And she's raised almost $150,000. Now, what people don't share is they don't share how much they spent to raise that money. How much did it cost for you to make that wonderful video? I had a conversation with a woman the other day. She once raised $50,000. And I said, how much have you budgeted to get all this done? And she goes, well, I know I can get a nice video done for $500. Come on now. You want to raise $50,000 and you think a $500 video? Okay, now even Spielberg is going to make you a $500 video to bring you in money. The more money you want to raise, the better your stuff has to look. It cannot look crazy, homemade. This is not the time to bring in your 14-year-old nephew because he's really good with the camera. This is serious business. And so, if you only have $500 to spend, you're going to be very hard pressed to get to $50,000.
So what would you say is a good percentage in terms of how much you have to invest versus how much you have to raise?
Well, it's just, it doesn't change from business to this. Remember, crowdfunding for business is still business. So in your business, you're going to be investing 25 to 35% of marketing of whatever you want to raise. So if you want to bring in $100,000 in revenue, you better be able to spend at least $25,000 on marketing and advertising to get that to come in. It's the same thing with crowdfunding. Now, a lot of people think, oh, but I've got this great big, social media network, and I will use that. Let me just explain to you how social media works for crowdfunding.
Right, please.
Social media for crowdfunding works like your news network. In other words, it keeps everybody up to date as to what's going on and what's happening, but it is not the trigger method for most of your money to come in. And I know nobody believes when I say that they do not believe me, but it is absolutely the truth. I have 68,000 Twitter followers. If it was the mechanism, I'd be tripping that mechanism every day myself.
Daily.
With a quick.
Right. You'd be like the Mint, just printing money. So then what is the trigger method?
The trigger method is that it is still the same sales method. They have to be able to go to your page. They have to be able to want what you have, be able to quickly punch the number and put in their credit card and buy. They have to get the emails. They have to get, text messages with links directly to what they want, they're looking for, and be able to very quickly make a decision and buy. And it doesn't change. It's still marketing.
Right. Very powerful. So then, what would have to happen? And it's going to be like a mini mentoring session for all of these folk that don't have a mentor, that struggle to get a mentor. Hopefully, brothers and sisters, y'all won't have to struggle to get a mentor long, because I'm opening a mentoring program where I'm going to lean on you too, Dr. Wright, and ask you to be one of the mentors that's going to be in there to give people access to folk from around the country in a bunch of different industries so that they don't have that struggle, because I had that struggle as well. As an Episcopal priest, there's only like 5 Black Episcopal priests in the country.
Really?
No, there's more than 5, but there's like out of.
It feels like 5, yeah.
It feels like 5, in the diocese where I'm at. out of 88 churches, there is like 5 of us.
Right.
But,
That's amazing. No, I know how
so
people are like, I've never seen an African American woman chiropractor. And I go, really? Because I've been an African American woman all my life.
exactly.
I'm not trying to be funny, but there's like 4 or 5 of us in LA, and we all know each other. We all know each other.
Right. Yeah. And then when you see one that you don't know, it's like, where were you?
Where are you?
You know?
Graduate? You must have just graduated. You must be new.
So we gonna give them a little mentoring session right now on crowdfunding. So what would you say would have to happen for someone to implement a successful crowdfunding effort? What are your checklist things that these things have to happen before you're ready to go?
So number one, your idea has to be more than an idea. It really has to be an opportunity. So you got to move from an idea to an opportunity. Number one. That's the number one thing. Lots of people got ideas. Matter of fact, I love James Altucher's daily practice. And I've been doing it for a while because actually another friend of mine from Maryland, Trevor Ott, told me to do this a couple of years ago. And I've been doing it since he told me to do it. But then I heard James Altucher talk about it. And James Altucher says, write 10 new ideas down every day. And what I do is I create a theme. So my theme might be like, okay, and it could be around anything. It doesn't have to be around business or personal or health. It could be whatever you want because it's just using your mind to be creative. So today the theme was 10 ideas for recipes for black beans because I don't really like black beans. So I've got to stretch myself to figure out how to make them taste good to me. So that meant I had to, really come up with some ideas. But 10 ideas every day. So it comes from an idea to an opportunity. Some of these ideas suck. Like if someone gives me a recipe that's got black beans and coconut, I don't like coconut.
Right.
Bad idea.
That's not an idea.
Not an opportunity.
Not an opportunity. Gonna throw it out. So number one, go from idea to actual opportunity. So think through what you're doing and what's in it for other people. Number two, put together a team. Here's who you need on your team. You need 5 people. You need somebody who can write. If you're not the person who can write, get somebody who can write. Good Lord, there are good writers just laying on the ground like grass. Just grab one and ask them to write. It's not a crime to not be able to write well. It's a talent. It's a skill like anything else. So if you don't have it, staff.
Find someone who does.
Find someone who can do customer service. Now, all of the websites send a thank you for the thing, but you want a customized thank you. So when I send you, I send you some money. A thank you should come back to me. That's very personal. It says, Dr. Wright, thank you so much. I hope you and your show are doing well. But in other words, I'm not Dr. Wright from Central Iowa. You know exactly what I'm going to show them. Customer service person. You need somebody who's good at sales. Okay, because you need, number one, somebody who can write copy, and some of your some of your marketing is offline. So you need to know what to say. So when I get on the phone, I need to know how to run that down to you so smooth that you're ready to give me your credit card and you're ready to give me the money. So you need somebody who's experienced in sales. You need somebody who's experienced in marketing. What's the plan to get the word out there? If you have to touch people 7 times to get them to give, and only 30% of the people you touch are going to actually give, how many millions of people have to see this over and over again before you get their money? So you got to have a marketing plan. So you need the marketing person, the customer service person, and then you need somebody who's going to be your lieutenant and take up the slack on the days off. Listen, this is a serious sport. You don't crowdfund, I'm home with the baby. I just had a baby, so I'm going to crowdfund. No. You don't crowdfund with you laying up resting from your bunion surgery. No, you got to be fully on and fully focused. So you need a lieutenant by your side to be there, keep everything going when you are taking a day off, because you can't do it for 60 or 90 days without a stop. Okay, I'm a professional. I can do it, but I don't want to.
That's right.
Okay,
I know that's right.
Take a day off. you got days when you got, like tonight, I'm going to be down in Los Angeles at a meeting with the founder from the PNC conferences on the East Coast. I'm going to be down there. Well, I would need my lieutenant to be like taking care of stuff because I got to drive into LA. I got to do this thing. That's hours and hours and hours out of my day. So you need somebody who's got your back that can pick up the slack and make sure everything's going and make sure everybody's doing their job. And then you need someone who is good at social media to make sure that the things are going out, the hashtags work, the links work. I had a client, I didn't pay attention. I had a client and she said she had somebody to do her social media. Okay, fine, great. We're doing the thing. At the social media, and this person is hashtagging it up because we had gorgeous pictures of her food. Gorgeous pictures of her food. This person is hashtagging it up, not one link to the page.
Oh, no.
Like, did not know anything about what she was doing. So, somebody who really, really does understand social media and can do that part of it, that part alone is a full-time job. And you're going to be doing this for 60 or 90 days.
Right. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. I took notes, y'all. So when you check the list, when you check the posting, you'll see the full list of the. I put 6. You said 5, but I counted a 6th person.
Oh, okay.
So, that's that fuzzy mathematics.
You will need to duplicate yourself. Trust and believe.
Indeed. That is awesome. I hope y'all were really listening because it's a game changer. You know, historically, we as a people have had difficulty accessing capital. Historically, we have had difficulty launching businesses because we can't access capital. And so it's when you have these types of opportunities come up, it behooves us to pay attention. And so, you know, Dr. Wright, I so much appreciate you taking the time to come and unpack these things for us and share this information. You have any last words that you want to share with the brothers and sisters out there?
Just that, you know, take the opportunity seriously. Do delve into it. I don't mean to make people fearful of getting in there, trying it out, and raising the money. But I do think it's a great opportunity. And I have a free download called Crowdfunding Made Easy. You can get it at getcrowdfundednow.com, getcrowdfundednow.com, and you can download it, read it. It'll give you more in-depth of what I talked about. I talked about the top 25 sites. We just redid it because some of those sites are gone. But we just
That's why the first book is obsolete now.
It's so obsolete. I would be embarrassed for you to see it. But the thing is that there are a lot of opportunities, and I have another book coming out very, very soon on another great opportunity for crowdfunding for people who want to crowdfund. There's 6 different types of crowdfunding, and the reason why most people fail is because you're matching the wrong type of crowdfunding for what you're doing. You're trying to do charity crowdfunding when you really have a business that's looking for investors. And also, people just don't understand how to be ready for an investor. I get this call every day. Dr. Wright, I need an angel investor. Great. What was your revenue last month? Oh, well, I don't have my numbers together. Girl.
Then you ain't ready.
I had a
Can't go to Shark Tank like that.
I had a multi-millionaire tell me. Now, he was telling everybody. He wasn't just telling me. But he was saying, hey, those of you that don't even know your numbers from last month because you don't keep track, you're not ready for an investor.
Right.
So,
right, because they want to know that.
Being prepared. And so I do help people raise money, but I'm also starting to shift more to let's get you prepared to crowdfund.
Right. Yeah, it's so much more involved than what you think.
Crowdfunding prep. So that's kind of my new thing, is that understanding that people are not ready. They don't know how to put together a team. They don't even know how to find a team. I have people come to me and go, I'm great at social media, and they suck. I look at their work and they're like, you know, I'm not a social media expert, but for you to say you're an expert, you got to be better than me. Okay.
Right.
I know a little bit about the Bible, but I don't know as much as you. That's why you're the expert. You
We
know,
hope.
when you come, when you come into my world and I say, I need some scriptures or I need some backup, I'm going to be looking to you. I shouldn't be able to do it better than you. I just shouldn't.
That should be the case, right?
Come on, that's the case. So, really vetting and making sure your team is right and all that thing. So, crowdfunding prep, or, people call me, I think I'm going to crowdfund this weekend. Got any advice for me? I'm like, nope.
Don't do it
This
this
weekend.
Take some time, prepare what you're doing. And also, I really believe, and this is more for our churches. Our churches don't do well with crowdfunding either. And people can't figure out what's the difference. People tithe, why can't we crowdfund? It's still good. Well, number one, because you don't differentiate. They're like, I already tithe. What are you talking about
Right.
crowdfunding?
Don't need a crowdfund.
And number two, the reason why, especially African American churches, don't do poorly with their crowdfunding is that the crowdfunding is for the church. You never see the African American church raising any money for somebody else.
Something else.
Right.
For something outside themselves. What's for our kids? And our kids got to have the summer feeding program. Well, guess what? I got a church over here too. My kids over here got to have. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now. When are we going to start being as Christians, and I'm not just saying Christians, but whether you're in temple, you're in mosque, you're whatever you do, because Lord knows
Right.
I have been around the world and I have knelt down a prayer time with my friends that are Muslims, and the women have their area and the men have their area, and you pray. I think that's awesome, praying 3 times a day. I wish Christians prayed 3 times a day. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Orthodox Christians.
Orthodox Christians do, yes. So the thing is, if we as a church that are really benefiting outside the church, other people, I believe that the money would come in. I believe that is the challenge. And so I challenge churches to do crowdfunding projects that aren't your building project or your kid project, your mother's project. I challenge any church to do a crowdfunding project that doesn't benefit them and see what happens.
Something outside themselves. Yeah. It was once said that the church is the only organization that exists for those who are not its members. But we forgot that.
We forgot. And I just think it's such a fantastic opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why it was so important to have you on the show. And I'm so grateful that you agreed to be on the show. Thank you for bringing it. And I just love your energy. It was a great vibe. So, thank you. You all be sure to download the free guide, Get Crowdfunded Now.com. GetCrowdfundedNow.com. I'm going to post a link to that as well in case you forget it, in case you lose it. But I want to make sure that you get that information because there are so many opportunities, especially for those, even if you're not talking about starting a business, but you're thinking about as an organizer for your student organization on campus or any other thing. Crowdfunding is definitely an opportunity to bring in some resources that you've never imagined before. So thank you all so much for listening. And now definitely want to hear from you. Want to know your thoughts, want to know your questions about crowdfunding, where you've seen successes in your experiences and where you've fallen short. Be sure to like the Facebook page at facebook.com/blackswithpower and subscribe to the show on iTunes.
Yeah, and I'll go into the group too. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll go into the group too.
Yeah, definitely get into the group. See, I already told y'all she gonna be a mentor there for you. So you want to be sure to join the group, blackswithpower.com/Facebook, and subscribe to the show on iTunes, on Stitcher, Google Play, or TuneIn. Listen to the previous episodes. There's a lot of stuff there, y'all, and leave a review and let us know what you think. Then share your favorite episodes with family, with friends. Remember always, brothers and sisters, a charge to keep we have, a God to glorify, a never-dying soul to save, and fitted for the sky. We have come a long way, brothers and sisters. Sure enough, we have indeed accomplished a great deal. But we ain't there yet. So let us march on till victory is won. Live with power.